Hello, everyone. The company I work for, AfriFocus Securities, asked me to do a presentation last night on our offshore investment offering. So I thought I would share the presentation with you today and go through it now. Hope you find value in this. So why AfriFocus Securities? With over 2,700 clients and over 2 billion Rand in assets under administration, AfriFocus Securities is a full-service JSE stockbroker, member of the Johannesburg Stock Exchange since 2000, and an authorized financial services provider. We offer discretionary, advisory, and non-discretionary portfolios to our clients. So just to get into a bit more detail about what that means, the discretionary service is for clients who do not have the time or the expertise necessarily. They may have the expertise, but not the time to manage their own portfolio. So we offer the service for them, where we would make all the decisions on what to buy, when to sell. And for this, we charge 1% per annum, minimum of $50,000 US. We also offer an advisory service. And this is where the client wants to make the decision themselves and not hand it over to us. In that case, they also would like to have someone to speak to, though, before they make the decision on what to buy, when to sell. And they'd like to build a relationship with a portfolio manager. The client ultimately makes the decisions, and they can give us instructions to buy or sell. We also charge 1% per annum for this service, and it's a minimum of $10,000 US. And that's usually for someone that has a bit of expertise or knowledge about the markets. They have a bit of an idea about what they want to buy or sell, but they just want to maybe have a chat with someone before they make the final decision. We also offer advice from time to time on the advisory portfolios. And then the non-discretionary service or execution-only service is for people that know exactly what they want to buy or sell, and they do not need a portfolio manager, and they do not need anyone to speak to. In this case, they could make use of our website to trade. Alternatively, we also have third-party providers, DMA for our offshore offering, as well as Velocity Trader. And this is for clients who want to execute the trades on their own. So they won't speak to anyone. They'll just go directly to the app or the software or the website and place the trades on their own without needing to speak to anyone. There's no annual fee for this. They would only pay brokerage every time they buy or sell. So what's available through AfriFocus and our partners? Being a member of the JSE, you can buy shares, anything listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. So that's all the shares available, as well as exchange-traded funds. And there are other instruments, such as structured products as well. That's a structured product is where you have a capital guarantee generally issued by the banks. We have partnered up with Investec and ABSA to offer their structured products. Speak to me about that. So they are quite interesting, especially if you want a capital guarantee where you cannot lose your investment unless there's a credit event. And then through DMA, which I'll get into now, you can buy shares listed on stock exchanges in the United States, China, Hong Kong, Japan, Canada, most European countries, the UK, and Australia, as well as exchange-traded funds listed on all these exchanges. So there are literally thousands of instruments available, and the portfolio would be in dollars, euros, or pounds. Through AfriFocus, we also offer single stock futures. So that's for sophisticated clients who want a bit of leverage or gearing on their shares, and also want the ability to go short as well as long. Happy to chat to you about that if all of that is, you don't know what that's all about. And as mentioned, the structured products, where they are fixed term contract, usually between 3.5 and 5 years, depending on the product, with a capital guarantee, plus some nice upside. So moving on to speak about today's presentation, which is really about the offshore portfolios. We have partnered with DMA to help our clients invest offshore. DMA used the Saxo Bank trading and investment platform. Saxo Bank is a Danish company a very nice platform. Your shares and exchange traded funds are held in safe custody with Citibank, which is one of the largest US banks in the world. The investment portfolio is fully offshore. Once the funds have been transferred offshore, it never has to come back to South Africa. And if in a few years' time you wish to cash it out, it can be paid into a bank account in another country. For amounts over R1 million, you would need a tax clearance certificate from SARS, assuming you're a South African resident. Below R1 million, you don't need any approval whatsoever. You can do it immediately. If you've already used your R1 million annual allowance and do not wish to wait for a tax clearance certificate, we can use the asset swap facility that DMA offer. And we've also partnered with Sanlam Glacier as well. You can use their asset swap facility as well. And that's also in the case of if you want to invest more than 10 million Rand, you normally need SARS approval as well as SARB approval in addition to that. But if you use the asset swap facility, that's another way of getting your money offshore. However, in that case, it would eventually have to be repatriated back to South Africa. Also with the asset swap facility, you can open up the portfolio in the name of a company or a trust. So why do people invest offshore? Why do South Africans invest offshore specifically? And a big reason is the depreciation of the Rand versus hard currencies, such as the US dollar. In this chart, you can clearly see it's depreciated significantly over time. Back in 2008, it was below 7 Rand to the dollar. It's now at over 17 Rand to the dollar. So if you want to protect the depreciation of the Rand, this is a good way of doing it. Here is an example that I just wanted to show visually of one of my clients that had, this is a non-discretionary portfolio where the client has made his own decisions on this one. He's got just over $24,000 in his portfolio, and he's invested in very well global brands such as Louis Vuitton, McDonald's, Meta, which is Facebook, Microsoft, Netflix, Nike, PayPal, Tesla, Walt Disney, and Uber. And that's what this platform offers, in addition to thousands and thousands of other companies listed. Here's another example of a non-discretionary client of mine. He's invested over $1.1 million. This portfolio is only in exchange-traded funds, and the exchange-traded funds cover all different sectors and investment themes. In this case, he's got base metals, bonds, biotechnology, geographies such as Europe, United States real estate, even interesting ones like electric vehicles and driving technology. So there are ETFs on almost any investment theme that you can think of. So for example, if you want another asset class besides equities, US money market, for example, money market is generally considered safer than equities. This particular one is managed by BlackRock. BlackRock is the largest money manager in the world. This particular money market fund has over $20 billion in it. BlackRock has also got another one based on geographies. In this case, it's India. So if you want to invest in India, but you're not quite sure which companies to buy into, they have selected them for you. So here's their top 10 holdings: Reliance Industries, Infosys, etc., etc. So that's another way of getting involved in India. If you want to invest in India, this particular fund is over $4.5 billion. And then particular themes. This one is doing lithium and battery technology. So companies involved in the full lithium cycle, from mining and refining through battery production, if you believe that's a theme that might grow coming forward, but you're not sure which companies to invest in. Again, they do it for you. This is a different asset manager called Global X. It's not BlackRock. And there are quite a few asset managers involved in the ETF space. That's all passive investing. If you don't want your portfolio actively managed, you can go into ETFs. However, if you do want it actively managed, we can do that for you. If you don't have the time to do it for yourself and don't have time to spend researching thousands and thousands of companies, There are over 9,000 companies listed in America alone, and many more thousands listed in Canada, Japan, China, Hong Kong, the UK, Europe, and Australia. So how do we select between 10 and 20 companies to put into your portfolio? You don't want to be overly diversified. And we differentiate ourselves from our competitors by not only investing in the mega cap and large cap companies. In addition to those, we select companies based on screening the market for companies that must meet all the criteria that we believe will outperform over the longer term, specifically value, growth, profitability, and earnings per share revisions, where the professional analysts are revising up their expectations for earnings per shares. We also use stop losses to mitigate risks, and we diversify the portfolio. I've put my own personal money into the strategy, and because we are investing in small and mid cap companies in addition to the large caps, we will limit the strategy to $100 million of clients' money. That's because we don't want there to be liquidity issues going forward. We can also tailor-make a share portfolio for you. So, for example, if you have a lower risk appetite and don't only want to be invested in equities, we can include money markets, bonds, and property, other asset classes in your portfolio. That's a way of reducing risk. Or if you have a specific preference to any particular company, we can do that for you as well. If you do not have the minimum $50,000 to invest, we can put your personal share portfolio together for you. We have partnered up with Sanlam Glacier International, and within your pension, provident, or living annuity, we can manage a personal share portfolio, an offshore personal share portfolio for you. The personal share portfolio, PSP, is Regulation 28 compliant. And there are also tax and estate planning benefits to using the Glacier International personal share portfolio. I just want to give a visual example of one of our managed share portfolios. And there are companies there that you probably have heard of, like Alphabet, and the rest you more than likely have not heard of. And that's the screening methodology that picks up interesting companies. So, for example, Daqo New Energy is involved in manufacturing polysilicon, which is used in solar power solutions. Hudson Technologies, a refrigerant services company. Puma Technology is involved in cancer care in the United States and internationally, etc. So what we really are looking for is unicorns, so companies that are going to really outperform. So we're looking for the next the next company that has an extreme outperformance. It's not easy to find that, but here's a little quiz. In the last 27 years, which company listed in the USA has generated a total return of 260,000%, making it the best performing S&P 500 stock of the past 3 decades? Can you guess? So it's not Amazon, but Amazon has done extremely well. It's not Netflix. The answer is Monster Beverage Company. I thought this was quite fascinating. They partnered up with Coca-Cola in 2015. Coca-Cola took a 19% ownership stake in Monster in return for Coca-Cola becoming Monster's primary global distributor. Since their IPO, they've generated an average return of 35%, a $10,000 stake in Monster Beverage stock in 1995 would now be worth more than $26 million. So that's really what we're looking for. This has performed better than, as I said, Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, Netflix, etc. And what's really cool, as a South African, this company was started by 2 South Africans from Johannesburg, both Wits graduates, before immigrating to Los Angeles in the States. They bought Hanson Natural in 1992, which later changed names to Monster Beverage. So that's what we're trying to do, hope to find the next Monster Beverage. In terms of the time horizon and liquidity, While we always suggest investing for the very long term, the longer the better. If you're doing things, life happens, and if you do need the money, we can cash it out for you at any time, and you can have the money back within a week. In terms of fees and costs, there is brokerage or commission paid when buying or selling shares. Those are once-off fees that are only charged when you buy or sell, and when you're not buying or selling, there's no fee. However, in addition to that, there is a platform fee charged by DMA of 0.57%. If you use the Glacier International platform to invest part of your pension or provident fund, they would also charge a platform fee. In the case of a full discretion portfolio where we're managing it for you, we charge 1% of the value of the portfolio per annum, or 0.5% for amounts in excess of $200,000, and the same fees for an advisory portfolio. Execution only, where you're doing it yourself and just using our platform, there's no annual fee. If this does interest you and you'd like to go ahead, the admin involved is really contacting me via email, or you can call me, WhatsApp, however you want to do it. I'll send you the account opening documents. You fill that in, send it back to us with your FICA documents. We then check it out before sending it to DMA. We then send it to DMA if everything's there. Once they open the portfolio, you would then request your bank to convert your rands to dollars or euros or pounds, whichever country currency you'd like to have it in. You send the money across to DMA's bank account with HSBC. Once the money gets there, we would then invest the money for you in the case of a full discretion portfolio, or you would do it yourself if it's an execution only, or if it's an advisory portfolio, we can make some suggestions where to put the money in. We can have a chat or discussion about it. If you are having any problems with your bank converting the rands to dollars, we can open up an account with Mercantile Capitec that we've partnered with, and we can help you with that conversion as well. Then you'll at all times be able to view your portfolio on the DMA website. If you are trading it yourself, we will give you the software for your computer to trade, and an app where you can trade from your phone, which is also quite nice. And you're welcome to contact me at any time if you have any questions. There are my contact details if you'd like to get hold of me. As mentioned, I work for AfriFocus Securities. There are my contact details. Email warren@afrifocus.co.za, or you can WhatsApp me 082-527-5539. Thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed the presentation, and if you'd like to get in touch, you're more than welcome. Enjoy the rest of your day and your week as well.